a shout out to all of the military recruiters out there, and in particular to a certain sergeant who greeted me so warmly when I entered the Air Force recruiting office in January of 1976. Hi, my name is Naomi, and welcome to Journey of a Flying Pig, where I talk about what I learned from a life well lived. And today I want to focus in particular on the things that I want to thank my recruiter for because he gave me opportunities that I would never have had. Okay. First of all, I want to thank him for seeing me. Okay. Um, Let me tell you, we started off, my friend and I went to the Army office for her to drop off her discharge paperwork because she had signed up for the Army and then was getting out on a technicality. Now, we figured while we were there, we were going to go window shopping. And all of the different recruitment offices were there together in a strip mall. Um, I'm sorry. We didn't even consider the Marines. Can you see me as a Marine? I couldn't. Anyway, so we went into the Navy office and we walked into the Navy office and there were two sailors there and they were talking to each other and didn't even acknowledge our presence. So we quietly picked up some brochures and we walked out. And then we went into the Air Force recruitment office. And as soon as we walked in the door, this tall sergeant stood up from behind his desk and came up to us with his hand outstretched and greeted us warmly. And that made all the difference. So, the first thing that I want to thank him for was seeing me, seeing me, seeing my potential, seeing me as a person of worth. My friend, she didn't join, um, but I sat there and I talked to him, and before you knew it, I had signed up for the um, I had signed up for the entrance test, and I went home and I said to my mom, "Guess what?" Which always was the preface to something that she later on worried about. I said, "Guess what I did today? I signed up for the Air Force." And she didn't think that she could talk me out of it, so she didn't even try. She thought it was point of no return. So I thank you for seeing me as an individual with potential. Another thing that I want to thank you for was giving me the opportunity to overcome my shyness and to gain confidence in myself as a woman and as an individual. Um, I ended up I ended up um, going into a field that was predominantly male. It was like 1 to 8 or something like that. And as a result, I had to work as an equal with with guys, and that gave me the opportunity to prove my equality. And at the same time, because I was a minority for the first time, um I also found myself feeling desired as a woman because well, when you're one of few, you actually get noticed more. And I was shy in high school. I did not I had one date with a um another student from high school, and let's just say it wasn't a good date. Okay. um and I grew. Boy, did I grow. um in my confidence as a woman, thanks to being in the military. um Another thing that I had an opportunity to do that I would not have been able to do as much was travel. Um, Thanks to the Air Force, I was stationed in. Okay, are you ready? Let's see now. I um went to Texas. Let's see if I can remember. Texas, Illinois, from Illinois to Montana, from Montana to North Dakota, from North Dakota to California, from California back to Texas. From there, I went to Korea and then Maryland and then Korea and then Maryland. I left out North Dakota, didn't I? I went from Montana to North Dakota and then to Texas. Okay. All right. So I got to live in a lot of different places, but I also I got to travel. When I was stationed in Great Falls, Montana, I took a vacation and I traveled to Japan, Cat Y. If anyone knows what that is, that means space available military. And I ended up paying $23 to go and come back. It was $10 to leave and $13 to come back. And I ended up getting to visit my pen pal. Okay, so that was another adventure altogether. And I had the opportunity to not only travel, but live in a foreign country. I lived in Korea. I was stationed there. The first time I was there for over 2 years. And then the second time I was there, I stayed for just 1 year. Korea is normally a short tour base. We only stay for 1 year. And while I was in that foreign country, thank you again, Sergeant Recruiter, I got to meet my husband. Um, and I would not have had the opportunity to meet a Korean military. He was Korean Army. There's no way we would have met. And I am thankful for the years that I had with him. So, once again, something else to be thankful for. If I hadn't joined the military, if he hadn't joined the Air Force, I wouldn't have met him. Um, Another thing that I might have been able to do, but not to the extent that I did, is go to college. Um, I had the opportunity while active duty to attend a lot of classes, and that in itself was awesome, in my opinion. And then once I was discharged and I went to college using the GI Bill, it paid for my bachelor's degree in psychology. From there, I was able to eventually go for my master's in counseling, which is what brings me here today. Um, Another thing that I had the opportunity to do was to buy my first house. Thank you to the VA loan program. My husband and I bought a house, which was an American dream for both him and me. In Korea, it was really kind of hard. Um, and when we came to the States, we made that dream come true. Another thing that I really want to thank the um, the recruiter for is the opportunity to have VA healthcare. Now that I am in my 60s, almost headed toward my 70s, I can't tell you how how what a relief it is to be able to know that I am covered by the VA. I had a freaking open heart surgery through the VA. And I am also having other medical issues that I'm dealing with. And I can tell you that my primary care provider is awesome. And I can't tell you what it's like to go into the um, the VA Medical Center and be treated with such respect. So, thank you, Sergeant Recruiter, for giving me that opportunity. And last but not least, I want to thank you, Sergeant Recruiter, because I can't remember your name. I'm sorry. It was 50 years ago. I want to thank you for the opportunity to be part of like a really cool group of people. I am still proud of having been an active duty Air Force um, airman, sergeant. Okay, those 14 years of my life were 14 of the best years of my life. So, for that, thank you. And that's all I have to say today. It's a little bit of a shorter video. Wow. But it is our semi quincentennial, something like that. And I just keep thinking about what I was doing 50 years ago. And above all, as I say goodbye, oh, don't forget, if you like what I said, like, hit the little like button. If you haven't subscribed, please subscribe, leave comments. And I want to end with always be kind to others, and more importantly, be kind to yourself. And I will see you in my next video. Bye bye.